All right. What's going on? You listen to King Cam and Ujumbe podcast and Ujumbe means message. I'm glad that you guys are here. Yeah, I'm back on site at the castle at King Cam at the house. I still have some of my books here and some of the things and some of the items, but I'm glad you guys are here with us one more time. Shout out to all the fam. Shout out to Ujumbe fam all over the world. We got fam in Morocco. We got fam in Brazil. We got fam in Germany. Shout out to the fam in Texas, California, New York. Uh, South Africa, Nigeria, everywhere. I'm just glad that you guys are here one more time. So there's some great and wonderful things that are coming up. It's been an interesting week, but an exciting week. And I got my 75115 hoodie. Okay. And much love to the family of DeSoto. We did a African history event. It was a thing. Okay. Before I get into the information, I gotta shout out the family, staff, and faculty at DeSoto High School. We got down. Um, because dealing with Black History Month, we normally deal with, say, post 1865. Okay, and everything after 1865 is seen as progress. No, we brought Africa, then the diaspora. That was pretty cool. And they had presentations, they had dance, they had music, and it was great. So, and I represented the Hausa family, the Bamoon and Bambara family. So I had my little uh outfit on. I had it on. So like the Queen would say, like Queen Cam would say, when you put your clothes, when you go before the people, put your clothes on. All right. So, all right, let's get to it. All right, but I'm glad you guys are here one more time. All right, let's get into the information. Um, I'm very excited. I'm always excited. I'm excited to share our history. All right, here we go. All right, King Cam Night School. This is the spring session. All right. And we're dealing with chapter 7, the Fair Cities of Stone. We are in the Fair Cities of Stone. We're slowly and gradually going through the book. Where's the book? Put it somewhere. Here it is. All right. I got it on me. All right. Fair Cities of Stones, chapter 7. This is an introduction to African history geared just for you out there. This is designed to foster a life of learning, one book at a time, one lecture at a time. And this is design this is that bridge between, say, you don't know anything about Africa to the high echelons of knowledge like Amos Wilson, Francis Welsing, Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Ben. This is right in between there. And so Kwesi and many others. Shout out to the fam. This is the middle school, high school level right here, that'll kind of help you along your journey. But we are all learning together, y'all. All right. Now, this introduction to African history, it'll be once a week. And we're going over a few readings on the continent. Um, and so after the question normally is, you always into Kemet and Kush, are there any other civilizations in Africa? Yes, there are. There's plenty others, and I think the book that we're covering kind of does that justice. These are the sub-regions of Africa. Right about now, we're right around here. Okay, the southeastern coast of Africa. But yeah, there are several ethnic groups, several cultures, so many families that we could discuss, and so many topics. I am looking forward to trying to discover them all right, before I take that road trip, because me and the Queen do plan on coming to Africa. But we got to have a little money. So, in time will tell. We'll get that, and we'll get down to get down. So. All right, Lost Cities of Africa, the book by Basil Davidson. It's a very good book. There's some things I disagree on, but just like anything, you just pick the bones out, and go from there. This is a pretty thorough book, in my opinion. Um, It covers a lot of the regions and the lost. It really highlights lost cities. You know, it highlights those things. All right. So let's get into it. Let's recap. How was Sheba's cities described? What did they find sailing down Africa? This was on the previous video. And what did the Greek pilot Skylax of Carianda discover? And lastly, describe the nature of the trade. This was in the previous video last week. If you missed it, check it out. But yeah, these were the essential questions. These were the anchors of our discussion. All right. So, of course, we will identify and discuss the major concepts of the book entitled Lost Cities of Africa, more specifically chapter 7. In chapter 7, there's really three major sections. One is the last one is pretty short, but these first two are pretty hefty. You know, once you get into it, between the pages of 196, 195 on into 212, it's a short chapter, but you know, if you're reading the words, it's pretty good, y'all. All right, so the fair cities of stone. Now, this is I you're gonna understand why I disagree with the title of this chapter. Okay, it's in a sense it's misleading, and we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna tell you why at the end. But chapter 7, that's the title of this chapter is Fair Cities of Stone. All right, follow me. All right, let's get it. All right, the essential question is, what was a forgotten civilization, and are you Arab or African? That was the question. That was in section 2, chapter 7, section 2, asking, are you African or Arab? Which one? Or is there an option? There's something else, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. The Swahili coast, it comprised of not just location, y'all. It wasn't just location, but a language, a culture. It was comprised of various experiences coming together in one place. All right, all these things. We talking about Tanzania. We talking about Zanzibar. We talking about Kenya, and even the Congo. All right, it can go. And this is where I believe, in my opinion, the East meets West before going towards the western coast of Africa. All right, before it goes west, this is where, to my opinion, where East meets West right here. That was the epic center right there. All right. All right, the forgotten civilization. That is section 1 of this chapter. Vasco da Gama sailed along the coast of Africa. He thought this place had nothing to offer since so many ships crossed the Indian Ocean. He went from, of course, Portugal all the way around down South Africa and back up. And since so many ships crossed the Indian Ocean, like, okay, this is, everybody's been here, been there, done that kind of thing. But he discovered something. He discovered something new. After all this selling, realized even though they may not have anything to offer, he had nothing to give. He had nothing. Because when he realized he had nothing, we're gonna find out why he felt he had nothing to give. And plus he had nowhere to go, but we're gonna find out why I'm so excited about this. He had nothing to give in comparison to what they were giving. Okay. Yes, it was a saturated market. By the time the Portuguese got to Madagascar, Tanzania, meeting with the Zanj and the potentates and all these people. Shoot, what y'all got? Oh no, we don't have it like y'all got. But let's discuss it. All right. So he passed Madagascar, and they found that people knew the land and sea to India and beyond. These people over here on the southeastern coast of Africa knew the land and the sea. This is long before Europe gets down here. All right, so these people were already knowledgeable. All right. According to Davidson, they had charts, compasses, quadrants, as good as their own, get this, or better. They had all the things. They knew how to navigate. They knew when to navigate, where to start, when to end. They knew the world around them. They was masters of this. So let's stop playing and pretending that these people did not exist, a forgotten civilization. Vasco da Gama, yeah, they and so many others, that call themselves circumnavigating the world and so on. Africans was doing this already, you know, and they was doing it better. All right. So they watched, they witnessed. Remember, I told you they had nothing to give because they watched a flourishing maritime trade. Oh my goodness, my spelling. Flourishing maritime trade. They traded gold, iron, tortoise shells, beads, copper, cotton, yes, of course, slaves and porcelain. So they were already they were fully developed into trade, into the process of trading, into the process of exchanging goods and services, using gold and silver as a medium of exchange. They was already doing this. So when because I teach economics, so when people say, what did the Africans do before the concept of money, they already knew what money was. They already knew the value of items and things through weight, measures, and things like that. As I mentioned before, the people of Mali, Songhai, and Ghana, they was exchanging gold and salt as well as books. They was trading books too. Okay, so now they was also looking for this cat, Prester John. This dude here, Prester John, is somebody he is legendary because all the Europeans was looking for this cat. I don't know what he did or to who he did it with and how he did it. These folk was looking for Prester John. That they maybe he's down in Mozambique or maybe he's down there further south. Let's mess around and find out. Okay. But yeah, they were something. But get this, I'm going to read something dealing with this trading. Um, they saw that they had stumbled on a world of commerce even wider and perhaps wealthier than anything that Europe knew. They was they was leagues ahead of everybody. And so to these European sailors, I'm reading page 196, to these European sailors of the last years of the 15th century, the coast of Eastern Africa could have seemed no less civilized than their own coast of Portugal. In a matter of wealth and knowledge of a wider world, it must have seemed a great deal more civilized. And they were repeatedly surprised by the ease and substance of the ports and towns they saw and sheltered in and plundered. They found themselves, get this, they found themselves repeatedly disregarded as strange and uncouth. The people who called themselves civilized in the whole world, when they landed down there in the southeastern coast of the Swahili coast of Africa, they were seen as strange and uncouth. Yeah, strange and uncouth, more civilized and wealthy than them. So yeah, they went, and I really think that they used Prester John as a way to come in and figure out what was going on. That's what I think. You know, that's what I think. So this is maybe he's in Mozambique or even further inland into the hinterlands of Manapatapa. You know, and so they were looking for Prester John, but they was also lurking too. They were looking around. They were okay. They got this stuff. Okay, they got gold. They got everything. You know, they realized they were, instead of them coming to give Africa something, They realized Africa had a lot to give the world. But you know how they got it. You know how the world got it. Instead of through trade, they did it through terror, through fear. You know, I gotta say that. All right, so Prester John, they got that they still didn't find him. You know, matter of fact, centuries within the same time, other Europeans were looking for Prester John in Ethiopia. You know, some of the knights, and I don't know which order, because I know I wrote it down, but I don't know which order it was, but they went down to Ethiopia looking for Prester John, and the Ethiopians like, bro, he's not here, and y'all can leave because I know y'all really looking for the Ark of the Covenant. You know, so that's another discussion another day. How about that? All right. Now, the Moor of Tunis. Now, they went all the way around and landed in India. This cat was in India. Tunis is in the northern part of Africa, but somehow, some way, this guy landed in India. Not only he landed there, but he was the guy. All right. So the term Moor was always seen to be relegated to one group of people in the northwestern part of Africa who civilized Spain or Al-Andalus and other parts of Europe. Shout out to Baba Yahya Sabaka. He's doing a fantastic job discussing Al-Andalus. Check him out. All right, he's real good. And so the term Moor was used to by Europeans to describe Africans, okay, as a whole. Okay, in Davis's book, the Moor of Tunis was a leader of that particular port. Now, this is Calcutta. This is in India, and this Moor is over there. All right. Of course, we told you they was the masters of the land and sea, and they had maritime trade going. So he just traveled. He went eastward. Okay, and so he was trying to figure out why when he was there, he got his paperwork. He's trying to figure out why all these European ships are coming out here all of a sudden. But the thing is, why would he wonder that question? Why would that be a question in his mind? Why was he wondering that? He had a logbook of every known and recognized ship that docked his ports. So he had a ledger. He knew who was coming in and going out. But all these new ships are showing up. They weren't on the paperwork. He said, basically, there was questions being asked. Why are you here? First of all, who are you? Where you're from? I need to see your paperwork. Yeah. The Moor of Tunis that was in Calcutta in India, handling business. That's what's up. All right, let's go. The next section, Arab or African. This here, when I saw that title, I said, oh boy. Because you can go in various directions with this question. All right. Especially if you know the social political climate in East Africa and even along the Bilali Sudan. All right. According to Davidson, the prevailing view of the time at the time was that they believed that these ancient cities were Arab or of Persian influence. So they really thought by the time they got there, say whenever they got there, they thought that the people of Persia or people of Arabia that were lighter hue was always there, just like many other civilizations in Africa, but I digress. And so, but if you dig deeper, you find that the very foundations of these cities were African, Arab or African. They didn't know. Did they want to know? That's the question. So they found trade in cities such as Kua, Lamu. I have to go and fix this because that is not cool. Sorry, I had to fix that. Okay, because eventually I am posting this into a class, so we gotta do right, right? Okay, here we go. Shout out to the African History Network. We're putting a class together, and I'm trying to, make sure this is right. Okay, so They, they found trade cities such as Kua, Lamu, Malindi, Pemba, Zanzibar, Mafia, Kilwa. Okay, these were ports. Okay, you can find these port cities in the book. Let me see what page number. Page number 204. Okay, there it is. 204. All right, these were those trade cities that they found. Okay, and so the various cultures, basically, this was the solution. This was the result. The various cultures constantly absorbed by the people among whom they lived. That's what Davidson was saying. It was a conglomerate, different cultures, and so it was a blend. People, through either force or finesse, they lived there. Okay, out of this came the Swahili culture. Now, what is the Swahili culture? This is an African synthesis of non-African ideas that nonetheless remain basically and predominantly African Bantu speaking Africans. So, just like anything else, the people of Africa throughout the diaspora will get something foreign and make it their own. That is Swahili. That is the Swahili culture. See that all the time. When the Europeans came and told them you're going to go to church, they said, oh, no, we don't like that church. They all sad and everything. We're going to sing. We're going to dance. Here comes the African American church. Our kids don't learn like that. Matter of fact, you won't let us in your schools in the first place. Here comes our HBCUs. Here comes historically Black colleges or universities. Here comes the Black neighborhoods. Here comes jazz music, barbecue, all these things. Okay? All right. Now, so the Kiswahili is the most widely spoken language in Africa. The word Ujumbe means message. All right. So that is the most, over 200 million people speak Swahili in some form. All right. So it is a Bantu speaking language. We're not talking about, because when you look up the top languages in Africa, it's going to mention French and English. Now, bro, Swahili is the most widely spoken African language. Okay. And it's Bantu, it's us speaking this language. I'm trying to learn it. I really am. That and Hausa language. I'm learning, trying to. So Arab or African. Now, I know a lot of people try to be everything but African. I've seen it all. They'll say, I'm not African. I am this or I'm that. When have you stopped being African? Dr. John Henry Clark, no, Dr. Ben said, if a cat has kittens in the oven, does it make the kittens biscuits? You know, I see that a lot. I'm not African. I'm Choctaw. I'm this or whatever. That's fine, but you're still African. The point of origin is Africa or Al-Kebulan or Ethiopia or whatever, right? And I understand the culture and styles of dress. Now they would say, well, these people are dressing like that. Well, dealing with the climate, dealing with the area, it's too hot to have all them clothes like that or to have that kind of material. So they have to wear what was comfortable for them. I understand that. Understand that a lot. But when you align yourself, and I'm saying this, with people who do not love Africa or Africans and try to harm them, that's the issue I have. I see a lot of Black people that are white on the inside, and they do a lot of harm to our people in our community. And that's real talk. That is, it doesn't matter. It could be in Africa or it could be around the corner in my neighborhood. If you are not for the people, you're trying to help yourself and not help others, that's a problem. Or when you try to distance yourself from the culture and say you're everything else but Black or African, that's a problem. So, but I know this is a major topic along the Bilal Sudan and in various places of Africa where there are people that say, I am not African, I'm not Bantu, I'm not this, I am that. That's not cool. That's not cool. Not cool at all. But I digress. But now, so when you think about it, we're all in this together. We're all learning together. We have to come together, okay? Ubuntu. We have to come together and unite as a family and get the show on the road. All right. Now, here were the questions. Okay. What was the forgotten civilization? Remember, Vasco da Gama discovered some stuff. Okay. He had nothing, but he found everything. Right. And Arab or African. All right. Now, section 3 was really short. It basically talks about the hinterland and where they was going to go, the trajectory of the book, moving on northward towards Ethiopia and so on. But yeah, as you can see, that part of the book was pretty interesting. So what's next? This next week we'll discuss chapter 8. Okay. And for more on East Africa, check out Home Team Sankofa Pan-African series. Dr. John Henry Clark is really good. Any lectures on from him is good. The African History page and AE Learning. And shout out to the fam. They're really good. They're very thorough. I enjoy listening to them. Some of them a little bit lengthier, some of them are short snippets. The good stuff, good stuff. All right, so more books, The Moors of Spain. Okay, The Story of the Moors of Spain by Stanley Lane Poole. That's really good. It's a really good book. And and of course, the Destruction of Black Civilization. That's a banger. That I gotta say it. That's the business. And I have the links in the description. And as a Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. But these books, The Destruction of Black Civilization and the Moors of Spain, if you want to know, if you want to learn something, check them out, right? Here we go. Black Arabia by Wesley Muhammad. Of course, for the kiddos, Tutankhamun and his friend. I'm telling you, that book really got me going. That really encouraged me. Shout out to my parents that gave me that book, and they got that. I forgot where they got it from. They got it from Black Images in Dallas. That bookstore there in Wynwood, that bookstore was amazing. Okay. And now we got Pan-African Connection, which is doing a fantastic job in Dallas. Shout out to the fam. All right. And a bonus. They came before Columbus, the African presence in ancient America. He talked about the Moors. Now, the issue is, the rub is, a lot of people in Latin America will swear to God that Africans did not sail to the Americas. We're not saying that all Africans were Inca and so on. What we're saying is that there were some people that got to the Americas before Columbus. That is the whole main idea of the story, But that's a bonus. Check it out, all right? And of course, prayer. Let's pray for peace and unity and stability for our family along the Sahel region, the Congo, Ethiopia, and Sudan. It's rough, okay? Congo has been going through it since 2002 and nobody's saying anything. That's a problem. But we know what it is. But we as a people got to come together instead of just politicking all the time, raise awareness and get some things going. Get some things going. All right. Now, chapter 8, after Axum. This is after the major Ethiopian empires. What happened after that? But I got to talk real quick about chapter 7 before we go into it. But the issue is what I had with let me get to that page. The issue that I had with chapter 7. Okay, the reason why I say it was misleading, because you would swear to God, according to this chapter, you would think that they was going to get into the Great Walls of Zimbabwe. You think they were going to get into, say, um, the wall cities that was made before the Great Wall of China? That wasn't the case. So that's the reason why I had a problem with it. The title, I thought it was going to get into that, but it didn't. It's like, we'll do it a couple chapters from now. So, but that was it. You listen to King Cam Ujumbe podcast. The sun is shining, as you can see. It's shining on my plant and it's shining on me too. So, but you listen to King Cam Ujumbe podcast. Ujumbe means message. And today's message is the fair cities, the fair walled, I'm sorry, I keep saying fair, the fair cities of stone. That's the message. The fair cities of stone, but it dealt with the people uh, along that Swahili coast. It dealt with how we handle business. All right. Much love to all you guys. I really appreciate you listening, and I will talk to you later. Peace.